How long after your reality show days was Allie X actually born?
It took a minute. And I remember being so relieved because finally people knew me for something other than that damn show. I think it was 7 years later.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, well, I had to learn how to write songs. I just wasn't as a theater person, I was a cheese ball. I was not a good songwriter. I was writing stuff that sounded like, I don't know if you know like Jason Robert Brown, but that's...
Are you kidding? 13 the musical?
Yeah, well, he's actually good at that style of writing. I sounded like a bad sort of like wannabe. And
like this like conversational, intensely story
over enunciated, like very literal,
incredibly vivid.
Every moment of thought documented, like that kind of writing. Because that's what I knew. And then... And it took me a while also to like actually learn Ableton Live and like find a sound that was somewhat commercially viable.
Do you remember when you did that for the first time?
Yeah. Actually, I was working with this producer out of Montreal, who I won't name, but he sat me down. I had a few demos that I brought him to work on. I was still Allie Hughes at the time, and he sat me down and he said, I don't like your songs. Just point blank. And he said, you need to get better and you should learn Ableton Live. And it was like a total punch in the gut, but like
exactly the punch you
exactly
needed.
what I needed. Yeah. Because the thing, I think he said this, the thing about learning Ableton or Logic or Pro Tools or whatever you learn is that you're no longer having to pay for studio time. And in Canada, that's kind of how it works. In LA, it's way more, you can kind of write all the time with other producers and it's a different arrangement. But when I was in Toronto, like as soon as I learned how to produce, all of a sudden, I could just work all the time and I accelerated, my songwriting getting better accelerated. And that's how ultimately I wrote my first songs, which got me a publishing deal and got me to Los Angeles.
A lot of people are afraid to be brutally honest.
Mm-hmm.
But if you didn't get that brutal honesty, would you even be here right now?
I don't know. I probably would have found some way because I do kind of just keep going. But it's funny you say that because I'm quite a direct person. And I've noticed like the longer I do it, the more direct I get. And I notice that I rub people the wrong way all the time. But I'm just speaking to people truly as I actually want them to speak to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny how much sort of like dancing around, it's a bit disorienting to me how much dancing around the truth we do in this industry and in probably most others.
But it's hard to tell somebody that their songs aren't good yet. You know, that's not what they want to hear.
And it is. But ultimately, I'm grateful that he did that, and I feel like it's a brutal industry. So some straightforwardness can really spare people a lot of anguish in the long run, I think.
Real. By the way, you can listen to the album Happiness. It's gonna get you. No. It really is a beautiful album. Happiness is going to get you. It's waiting for you.
But isn't the song Happiness is Gonna Get You and the title is Happiness is Going to Get You?
Yeah, it's sort of a British versus American English.
I was reading, I was like, did I read that wrong or is that right?
Well, I'm singing it Happiness is Gonna Get You in the title track, but it's titled Happiness is Going to Get You because I just thought that sounded better. I don't know.
Listen to the album. There's a link below. What are you thinking?
You did mention Allie Hughes, and you also said on TikTok that this album feels Allie Hughes coded.
Yeah, some of the fans, I hadn't thought that, but some of the fans said that, and I was like, yeah.
What does that mean to be Allie Hughes coded?
Well, I think it's like they're speaking to like leaks that they heard of like those early songs that I was just speaking about that aren't very good in my opinion, and that at that time. Those very early songs were all actually written at the piano before I knew how to program. And so I think that's what they mean is like it's a return to the piano. And And maybe there's a certain tone or like quirkiness to it as well that feels reminiscent of like the Allie Hughes days. I'm not sure.
What are the differences between Allie Hughes and Allie X?
I think Allie X is pretty true to me, and it actually in a way feels maybe more true to me than Allie Hughes, because without a family name or a lineage attached to my name, it's much more sort of open-ended. And the concept of X has always been the infinite variable, like the idea that I don't have the answers and that anything can be anything and that there's a university of infinite possibilities. So in a way, Allie X is more open-ended, which I like.
Is that who you truly are?
I think so. Yeah, I think that the name has really like been good. It's grown with me, and I feel like it leaves room for a lot more growth and I think like just I'm a person that questions, and the X itself is basically a question mark. So yeah, I do relate. I still relate to it very strongly.